Mingalawa, welcome to MITV special show Perspectives. For this show, we have invited special guest of speaker, Sia Wu Chan. So for this week, we are going to discuss about uh, global warming impact on us. So what is happening to Antarctic and Arctic?
Yeah, the sea ice, the sea ice has been melting. Because it was in the news because recently in the Antarctica, there is a sea ice block as big as the size of United Kingdom has split away from the mainland of Antarctica. So because of the global warming, because they're supposed to stick together. It's just like ice melting. Two ice cubes stick together, right? If it melts, the two ice become separated. Yeah, so this big ice cube split it. And this whole thing melt, right? And plus some of the Arctic ice also melting. The whole world sea level could be increased by as much as 60 cm, which is about 2 feet, which is quite a lot. Yeah, so that's quite dangerous, and that sea level and global warming issues have to be revisited by everyone in this world because the sea levels are actually rising, and the ice sheets are melting across both sides of the polar areas.
So what are the consequences going to be?
Yeah, as I mentioned just now, the sea level is going to go up 60 cm, which is about 2 feet. Yeah, so that is quite significant. All the coastal areas, the sea levels will increase, right? So all especially on the low-lying areas. Well, only Yangon also is like maybe a couple of feet above the sea level. So we are in like 2 feet above the sea level. So if the sea level rise 2 feet, we'll have more flooding, and the whole of the Yangon could be
Underwater.
underwater in like in during the rainy season especially. So it's going to impact a lot of coastal cities.
What will be the impact on us?
Well, there'll be increased flooding because there is, especially during the rainy season, because the rainwater has difficulty going down because the water always go down, right? Because the sea is already up, so how do we go down? So the water doesn't flow to the sea anymore, so it comes back from the sea. So there'll be increased flooding in the coming years, right? There will be erosion and land loss because the seawater eroded into the land, so you lose your land, right? So that's there, and plus you have fresh water. You have difficulty to access fresh water anymore because as the sea level rise, right? The salt water go into the water areas and the wells and all these things. So the water cannot be used. So you're going to have shortage of fresh water, and the fresh water will turn into some of the freshwater supplies and lakes and the wells and all these supplies will turn into salt water. So that is pretty bad. And plus, with that sea encroaching into the land, we have displacement of the population. If you are
And
building,
also for cultivation, yeah?
yeah, correct. So you have the salinization of the land, right? You already experienced some of these in the blue zone opposite Molemiang. Like some of the coastal farmland area is already you can't plant the paddy anymore because it becomes soaked with salt water. Right? For Zabah paddy, you need fresh water, the rainwater to grow. With the salt water coming in, they cannot grow anymore. So a lot of farmlands are also affected, as you said.
So these are the possible impacts, yeah? So please elaborate more about the.
Yeah, and plus, there is also infrastructure vulnerability, right? If you build a jetty or if you build a port, the port go underwater. Then how? How to clear the cargo and all these things, all the investment that you put into building a port and a jetty and all these things, the sea level rise, you are in a bit of a problem. Yeah, so this infrastructure is affected. Plus, though, for example, if you think about Yangon, right, part of Yangon areas become underwater, right, then there will be a lot of economic impact, right? Even as even as next to the next to the port, after there's a Kana Strand Road. After that, you have the stock exchange, economic banks, and all these things, right? So if the water comes near there, we have a lot of economic issues on that. And plus, we have also cultural and heritage sites. A lot of pagodas, a lot of places of worship. They're near the water area. So if the water level rise, all these cultural monuments and all these things will be affected. And plus, last but not least, our beaches. When sea level rise, our beach areas will be no longer beaches. So the water levels will be up.
So is it the same to the world effect?
Yeah,
Impact?
correct. It's not that we are experiencing solely as a nation. Even the rich countries like China, right? A lot of coastal cities will be flooded. They predict if the rate continues by the 2050s, there will be a lot of big cities will be underwater. No, not the whole city, but significant parts of larger cities will be underwater. Even if you look at our neighbor Bangladesh, it will be a lot worse because of global warming. Because think about Bangladesh. Bangladesh is about the area about the size of Yangon, Bagoa, and Iawari divisions combined. They only have that land area. Plus, half of the land is flooded during the monsoon. Right? We see, and their population is about how many times the size of us? About 3-4 times the size of us. And with the sea level increase, they don't have much of a land area, land space to live on. So it's pretty scary. And some of the islands in the Pacific, like Maldives and Fiji, they may go
They
underwater.
will be sinking, yeah?
Yeah, they will go underwater. So they are pretty scared because of that. So it's affecting everyone in the world. Yeah.
Okay, how scary is it, yeah? So what can we do as individuals?
Okay, one of the reason that the ice caps melt at the polar regions is because of global warming. Why there is a global warming? Because of the emission of the greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide. Right? So as the factories and all these emit more and more these greenhouse gases, right, the earth will get warm. So we have to make sure that how do we reduce the factories and all these things from emitting so much greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide in cars, and cars also create lots of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, both are greenhouse gases. So how do we reduce that? So we have to reduce our consumption. The first thing, we need to conserve our energy. Right? If we use hang on more, then we use more electricity. Electricity needs an electricity plant to run. Right? A lot of things are running coal, using coal, or of course hydro is quite clean. It doesn't create greenhouse gases. But in general, right, the more energy you use, the more global warming you create. Right? If you take flights, it use more energy. You take airplane, you need more energy than you're driving a car. So then it creates more global warming. Yeah, global warming cause the sea levels to increase. And the next one is, your transport choice. Just as I say, if you use a car, share the car with other people.
You have already mentioned in previous discussion.
Yeah, correct. And plus, you use a bicycle or some sort of, motorized, some sort of electric vehicle or some sort of rechargeable mode of transport. That's a lot better than using a car. And plus, you have to accept the concept of reduce consumption, reduce wastage, reuse things that you can reuse, plus recycle. Plus, you always have to think about the sustainable. What I'm doing, for example, if you use so much plastics, plastics you need factories to produce plastics, right? Even plastic bags or whatever, right? That warm the earth, right? So instead of using plastic, you think of alternative of reusing your own basket or whatever. Yeah, that's the thing. And plus you need to conserve the water. Also, water is going to be a scarcity, because of the sea level rises. And plus you try to go for the renewable energy alternative like solar or yeah, the whole wind. Yeah, Myanmar doesn't have much of wind. Myanmar can do use solar, and plus you can also use the inverters to store electricity and reuse it back, rather than turning on the generators and all these. Yeah, plus by raising awareness of this global warming, that everybody can be encouraged, to use, to reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Reduce, reuse, recycle,
yeah,
and also
plus
sustain.
sustainability, and plus the conservation. Yeah, that's the solution for that's for all of us to do. Yeah.
So all these these concepts can work.
Well, if everybody on Earth, most of the people, at least half of the Earth population do it, it will work. right? If only like 5% do it on the world, right? But at least some people doing is better than nobody and anyone not doing, and nobody doing. Yeah, so we have to start doing even if other people are not doing. As like Gandhi said, right? The rise and fall of the earth and the universe is the responsibility of every individual, right? So we have to be responsible and to protect ourselves as well as the earth.
So these are the insightful discussions for sustainability of our environment and to protect the global warming. Thank you very much for your insightful discussions.
Thank you.
You have been watching MITV special show Perspectives. Thanks for joining us.